I'm Jeannie Kelly, your credit coach. And today we have Brian Carruthers, my business mentor. I'm so happy to have you, Brian. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Good to see you.
It's awesome to see you. And in case no one knows, which I learned about you, Brian, before I joined your team, but Brian, by the time you were 30 years old, you made your first million. And that was leaving the real estate industry. So I want to talk about that. I find it so exciting because, I have a lot of realtor friends and I love that industry. I know you do, but what made you transition? Let's get to know you here.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I went through private Catholic school all my life, even though I was not Catholic. My parents did really well in the real estate world as entrepreneurs and afforded to be able to send me to Georgetown Prep, and then I went on to Villanova up in Philadelphia. Came home with an accounting degree. Never used it. Looks great on my wall, collecting dust. Don't even do my own taxes. But I jumped into the real estate game as a real estate agent. Age 21, I was a rookie of the year for Montgomery County, Maryland. By the time I was 24, 25 in there, at that range, I was already making six-figure income.
Mhm.
So I was doing pretty decent as a real estate agent. And at that age, making that kind of money, that was more than any of my friends made. So I felt like I had the cat by the tail. And at age 28, I had just opened up a new office for us in Rockville, Maryland, a virtual office and kind of a different concept. And in one of the interviews for an agent I was trying to hire, he told me how he was marketing a legal plan to his clients and friends. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And I had no interest in hearing anything more about it, but he insisted that I listen to what he was going to share. So I did. And within minutes, I said, my gosh, I want this service for myself to use. I could have used it for speeding tickets. I don't have my will done, all these different things. So he signs me up and he says, do you realize I just got paid a couple $100 for signing you up? But more importantly, I'm going to get paid every month for the rest of your life, even if we never talk again. I said, well, what in the world? How does that work? He says, residual income. I said, explain. And it explains how residuals work. You sign a customer one time, you get paid over and over again on a subscription basis. You get renewal income every single month. And I couldn't unhear that. I didn't have residuals in real estate. I was only as good as my last deal. I was unemployed until my next deal. Right. And so I got involved with that project with him. And one of the smartest things he did, he introduced me to a few of his mentors. And they shared with me not only how the business model worked, but I got a chance to take a look at their lifestyle. They were making way more money than me. They had way more free time than me. They were fishing, golfing, traveling. Their money never went down when they did all that. I'm like, golly, that's the lifestyle I want. Right. And so one of the things I've learned over the years, and I've been teaching lately, is in order to have massive success in your life, you need to have GAME, which stands for Great Associations, Mentors, and Environment. And I had great a mentor with my dad in real estate for sure. So I don't want to downplay that. But when I got involved with this company, Legal Shield, I got around great associations, other entrepreneurs who all were after the same thing. I got great mentors that were willing to pour into me, teach me exactly what they did to get there and help me to do what they did. And then environment. And Jeannie, one of the things I discovered when I got into this world of Legal Shield is personal development. I started reading things I didn't read before. Jim Rohn, Mark Victor Hansen, Les Brown, and Think and Grow Rich, How to Influence People, all these different books and audios. And I got around that personal development environment. And one of the things I learned is money, like water, seeks its own level. So, if you want to make more money, you got to become more because money is going to basically go up to or come down to whoever you are. So I wanted to grow me so that my income could grow. And that's exactly what happened in this business project.
It's so funny because, Brian, when you say those books, I was, as the outsider, reading them along with you probably the same time. And then, you are an author of many books. Okay. So I brought a few here, Building an Empire. I just listened to again on your Audible, and that was incredible. Everybody has to have this book. And I realized I read one of these before knowing what you did, because I'm always in the business section of Barnes and Noble. And I came across your book once. And then when I did join the team, and then I realized I'd be working with you, what you're saying is so true. Like, here, I read about you, you motivated me, you've been on the stage of many things that I've listened to before joining. And then I got to work with you one-on-one. And what you're saying about pouring in, it's priceless. I was on my own for so long, and I love my business. I talk about it all the time. I love, and I live and breathe credit, but I didn't want to be contained to one thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of this. I consider it, and I know you hear me say side hustle, and I've talked about it because I love my business. But why do I have to rely on one income? And I talk about that in a book that I'm writing, because I said during the 2008 crash, I was really in trouble financially because I lost a lot of business. And because I only had one income, it really hurt. And that's why I love having you on here, just for others to hear. Even if you have a successful business or you're living paycheck to paycheck, whatever it is, you can fit in more. And it's the mentoring that is something that others pay thousands. I mean, can you imagine the coaching? I'm sure you pay for big coaching, right? And that we get this opportunity to work with you. It's priceless.
Yeah. Well, let
Thank
me
you.
let me just make a point that what I'm about to share with your viewers is either going to be very freeing or it's going to haunt them for the rest of their lives. The book, my fourth book and most recent that I wrote is called Untrapped: Freedom Manifesto. Become an entrepreneur to escape the grind and find freedom and happiness.
Yeah.
The reason why I wrote this book
Love
is because if you are a W-2 employee, or even if you are self-employed or a business owner, you're trapped. And I talk to people about this a lot. And what's very interesting is some people will say, "What are you talking about? I'm not trapped. I love what I do." You might love what you do, but you're still trapped there. You love doing it, but if you ever have to stop doing it, you get sick, can't work, want to retire, God forbid you lose your job, the economy shifts and you lose your business, whatever, your income stops. If you have to keep trading your time for money, you're never going to have time freedom. Time freedom only comes when you have time that you don't have to give away for dollars. And so some people are trapped in a job they like and they don't mind being trapped. Cool. But what happens if something comes around the corner? Some people are trapped in a job they don't like and they know it. They're easier to talk to. You don't need to, there's not much convincing that they need to figure something out. Then there's people that are like, "What are you talking about? I'm not trapped. I make $500,000 a year." Good for you. But guess what? If you stop doing what you do, that $500,000 a year can go to zero.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say get untrapped, time freedom comes from financial freedom. Financial freedom comes from passive residual cash flow, setting up business assets that will keep on paying you when you're not working. Call it coupon money. Sitting on the beach in Maui with that money coming off those, coupons means not saving 50 cents off a bottle of jar of mayonnaise. I'm talking about coupon money, money coming, just passive, like dividend income, money that comes from your assets that are just deposited in your bank account. That's what people should be after. Right. And, I could have stayed in the real estate world and I could have kept on hustling 7 days a week like I was. If I stayed doing that today, here it is 25 years later, I would still be doing that, still in the same grind. I decided to get involved, like you said, in a side business, a few hours a week, so I could pursue building an asset that would give me passive residual cash flow. My first year, I made $248,000 doing that. But it's not just 248 and then done. And then next year it's all over, starting first and 10 all over again. That's not the way Legal Shield works. Yes, I made that money, but in doing so, I built a book of business that pays me residuals forever.
Right.
So as my income was growing, my back end book of business was also growing like a tidal wave behind me. So now I've got a very significant income, like 7 figures a year, that comes in whether I get up in the morning and do anything or not.
Right. And that's the important thing, Brian, because I think we throw it out there, passive income residual. I didn't know what it was. I took in a client, helped a client, got paid. That was it.
Yeah.
And so that is something you don't learn about. And once you learn it, it's like, wait a minute. So I help someone once
Yeah.
by sharing the plans, and then they keep them because they're incredible. And then I'm going to get paid over and over. And it's something, once I heard, and you mentioned it once, saying it's like insurance, right? Going to, when do you talk to your insurance person again? Usually not, right? Unless you get a new car or whatever. But that person gets paid over and over. So why not find a business module that works for you like that? And that's what that's what I was introduced to, and
Yeah.
been loving it 5 years now.
Yeah, I love it too. Look, I mean, where else can you have fun, help people, and make great money all at the same exact time?
Right.
And I'll just explain to you, for anybody that cares to listen to this. I was so drawn to this business project because in my heart, I like to help people. And if you live in America, if you don't know your rights, if you can't defend your rights, you might as well not have any rights. The legal system has priced everybody out unless you're rich and you can afford to pay an attorney $300, $400, $500 an hour. Most people can't afford that. So instead, they just wing everything on their own, praying for the best, which is why they stay stuck where they are or stay oppressed. What if, for a tiny monthly fee, we could give people access to the greatest law firms all across the country to handle all the stuff that comes up in life? It could be good stuff that's bad. It could be a lawsuit. It could be an IRS audit. It could be a traffic accident. It could be all kinds of bad things. Your house burns down and the insurance company won't pay the proper amount to fix it. Whatever. It could be something good. You could be adopting a child, buying a home. You could be doing something really amazing, and you still want to be able to use an attorney for something. You could be starting a business. You want to get some IP, copyright, trademark stuff help. Getting your will done to do the right thing to protect your family. So when I saw this, I'm like, hold up a second. I would tell people I care about these services for free. Like everybody I care about, I would want them to have a Legal Shield membership. But yet the company's going to pay hundreds of dollars in commission for each person that I refer. And they're going to pay me for life on every one of those customers, residual income. I'm like, twist my arm. Come on. It's like awesome. And then the business model with true alignment of interest. And to me, is explain this because I don't think people truly understand this marketing model. When I came into Legal Shield, I was wet behind the ears. I was brand new. I knew real estate for the most part. I had no idea how to do something like this. The people that were already very successful in the company, they were willing to mentor me, not just because they're amazing human beings, but the company pays them an extra override every time I make money. So if I go out and sell a membership and I make $200 and my mentor gets paid an extra 100 because they helped me learn the business and guided me and developed me, heck yeah, win-win, right? So it's a true alignment of interest. If we were in real estate, Jeannie, and I recruited you into our or you joined our real estate business,
right?
And I'm a top producer, why in the world am I going to give you my secret sauce and tell you how I go out and get all my clients? Because if I teach you that, you're going to go out and grab my market share. You would take food off of my table. Why would I ever give you my secret sauce?
Right.
But in this business, I want you to have the secret sauce. I want to help you make a fortune because a company would pay me an override for helping. It's like, if you win, I win. If you don't win, I don't win. That true alignment of interest does not exist in corporate America, in jobs. It doesn't exist in typical businesses. If you're a lender, a loan officer, a real estate agent, an insurance agent, or whatever, is every man for himself. Everybody's guarded. So I just love the community, and we're in a loneliness epidemic right now. So it's not just a great service that you can market. It's not just a great way you can make some great money and build up a residual income that would set you free. But I just love the people. I love our friendship that has grown over the years. And when I was at church on Sunday and they were talking from stage about this loneliness epidemic that's going on right now, and people taking their own lives, which is so sad. They're talking about a third of every single child is going to be diagnosed with anxiety disorder. I mean, things are really, really different out there, and people want to belong to something. And like I said, great associations, mentors, and environment. If for nothing else, even if somebody's financially well-to-do, they don't need a business project to make any extra money. How about just getting around some amazing people
Right.
that are all, working towards a great cause, empowering people, spreading hope and opportunity to others. I mean, that's all the reason why I would say, get involved in a project. And if it's not like this with Legal Shield, with what you do, find something like this that you can get involved in, because you get out of bed differently in the morning. You got a different higher cause and purpose, a purpose-driven life. Tony Robbins said to me backstage a few years ago when I was speaking at an event with him, he said, the only way for a human to feel more alive is to be a part of something bigger than himself. And he said, obviously you found that, Brian. And I feel that every single day.
Yeah, it's so true. And, I was looking at your website, and one of the things you say on there is, as you help others, the money just flows to you because you're helping others live their dreams, which is fabulous. But at the same time, it's still a business.
Yep.
And so it puts food on your table for your beautiful family.
The
And
challenge with that, Jeannie, I'll just say
Mhm.
this, sort of interrupt there.
No.
People say that stuff all the time,
Mhm.
and it's meant well. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life. Help others, and the money will flow. Let me just give an extra caveat to that. There's a lot of people out there in this world that are really kind, giving people, and they help people all the time. And the money is not flowing to them because they're not doing that helping thing inside of a vehicle that will pay them for it.
Right.
So I feel very fortunate that I'm actually in a business that helps people. And the more people I help, the more the company pays me, and pays me the right kind of income, not just linear income getting paid once, but leveraged and residual income that comes in passively forever. So I think if anybody's watching or listening and they love to serve, they love to help others, keep doing that, but do it inside of a business model where it also will pay your bills.
Right.
I mean, I hate watching people go broke because they just like helping people. It's not fair. It's not the way it should be.
Right. And I know we talked about the legal plans, and this isn't a pitch about that, but I also have to say I got involved because of the ID protection. It was the perfect marriage. I think right now our identity is out there all over. We're constantly walking around with our phones, and we need to protect our identity.
Well, look,
And
I've
so,
watched you get awards for how many people you are protecting all your clients with the ID Shield service.
yes.
I mean, most people don't realize that when your identity is stolen, it's not just a matter of canceling that credit card and asking the bank for reprieve and taking care of the debt or whatever. Some people's lives are being really messed up.
Yes.
And it takes hundreds of hours of legwork to go get your identity restored back to pre-theft status. Most people have no idea how to do it. They have to go to ftc.gov, print out a 50-page manual on how to go do that. They have to take weeks off of work to go handle all the process of it. When you got the ID Shield, you have licensed investigators that will do all that for you. So you can go on living your life and let them handle it in the background and get you all set back to normal again. That's priceless, absolutely priceless.
100% priceless. And a lot of times people will say to me, oh, well, I have bad credit, so no one's going to steal it. It's not about your credit. That's the easy part to fix. It's your identity. It's your driver's license, passport, medical records, things like that. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I love the product so much and the membership. And you are right, hundreds of hours. And it's a scary thing. So when you have someone that can help you and it's just a tap of a button on your phone, and then you say, please, they take it over and they do get your identity back. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, because we're on Credit Over Coffee, I need to ask, how did you learn about credit?
So when I was a young man at the age of 15, I became, I believe, there's no way to verify this, but the youngest baseball card dealer in the country. I started collecting cards when I was 12, going to the you know, the 7-Eleven or the High's dairy store and buying packs of cards for 25 cents. It shows how old I am. They're $3 a pack now. I was a hustler. I mean, I was an entrepreneur. I was raking leaves, shoveling snow, cutting lawns, washing cars, anything I could do to make money to go buy more cards. And when I was 15 years old, I became a dealer and setting up at card shows. I couldn't even drive. My mom would take me there in the morning, drop me off, and pick me up at the end of the show. I would make $1,000 on a Saturday but they helped me get my first checking account at Bank of America. My Bank of America account number is like only a handful of digits. When I go to the bank now, they're like, that's not your whole bank number, account number. Like, yes, it is. I've had it since 1985. Now they're like this long. So I got a checking account. They had to co-sign for that, obviously. And then I got my first credit card when I was old enough to get one at 18, and it was a Discover card. Back then, Discover was the best way with the fees or whatever. And you know, when you first get a credit card, you have to condition yourself to what it's actually about. Like, you got this credit limit of $10,000 or whatever it was, and I'm like, you know, I ran it up. I ran it all the way up. But I also got really good coaching from my parents. Like, I did not just let it revolve, just let it ride, and have the, you know, interest rates can just cause it to be a cycle that's vicious, and you can just, maybe it's like quicksand. It's hard to get out of that. So anything I spent, I was taught that whatever I'm spending on my credit card, use it for convenience. Like when you're at the gas station, instead of going in and paying cash, use your card, but pay it off at the end of the month, so you never pay any interest fees. So that's kind of how I did it. But I will say that I got into a little bit of a lull in my earnings, and I did, when I got into Legal Shield, by the way. Even though I made $100 grand that year in real estate, I bought a Porsche, I owned a home, I was doing the thing in my 20s, and you know, that's what we do, right? We spend money, you know, we don't realize what we're doing. I had $12,000 in credit card debt that was on my Visa and my Discover, and I was paying some, so I went against what I was taught. But luckily, I amped up my earnings pretty quickly and paid it off within a few months, and I've never ever carried an interest payment on credit cards. Now I've got credit cards, and I've got credit limits of 40,000 or whatever on each card, and I'll tell you, I just pay it off every single month. But and I've got a great credit score, but you have to make that a priority. You have to understand that your financial picture is super important. You know, I pay very low interest rates on any loans, cars, homes, or whatever, because I've been very disciplined. In credit, you probably have, you teach this to people, so I'm just going to say it because I'm the guest speaker here, but either you be self-disciplined or the world will discipline you. With regard to credit, it is so true.
Yeah, 100%. And that's great. And using credit in a healthy way, you know, have that great score with the tools of the credit cards to get the low interest on the big purchases, the mortgages, or whatever we're going to be purchasing. I know.
Yeah, I spend so much money on gas and travel and buying buying baseball cards and stuff like that. I use the card on eBay, and let me tell you, I went to the bank last year, and I was having the lady there help me send a wire for an investment, and we were looking at my accounts, and she goes, "Which account?" She goes, "Oh, wait a second, you spend a lot of money on your credit cards." She said, what do you do with your rewards? I'm like, I don't know. She goes, "What do you mean you don't know?" She goes, "Let me look something up." She goes, "Oh my God!" She screamed. The whole bank heard it. I'm like, "What was my account hacked?" She goes, "No. Do you realize you've got $22,000 of cash rewards?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes,
"Right.
I can push a button right now and get you $22,000 deposited right in your bank account for money you spend on your credit card." I'm like, "Well, shit, do it." So she did.
Take it. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. But that's the thing, right? But yeah, you got to use those rewards.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you so much. It was awesome having you. As always, you know, any questions regarding this, reach out. You know, we want to build an incredible team. And the wonderful thing about this is it's in the United States, everywhere, right? So go ahead.
I want to encourage all of your listeners, if they'll go get and read or listen to this on audible.com. If you don't like to read, just listen to this while you're driving or you're doing laundry or whatever. Read Untrapped. If you'll read this and you reach out to Jeanne and say, hey, I read Brian's book, Untrapped. I'm interested in talking with you guys. Then Jeanne will get us in touch. I'll chat with you guys about what it is I can do to maybe add value to your life. If you'd like for me to mentor you. And there's no charge, by the way. I'm not trying to sell mentoring fees. Like, I don't charge anybody any money to help. So read the book, listen to the book, do it quickly. Don't put it off and just never do it. Reach out to Jeanne and she'll connect us. We'll get on Zoom, the three of us, and get a chance to meet you and find out what you got going on in your life and how we might be able to make your life 10x better and get you financially independent.
I love it. That is I didn't know you were going to do that. And thank you so much, Brian. Have a fabulous day. Thank you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Great seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.